Hi, welcome to Impactful Insights. I'm Kathie Topel. What I want to do today is discuss a recent research piece that I had found. It was by Gardner that was just put out on October 14th of 2016, so just recently, a couple of weeks ago. And it is really on the top strategic predictions for 2017 and beyond, and surviving the storm of winds and digital disruption. So what I like to do is read research that I find or read articles that I find and then think to myself, how can I impact my world, or how is that impacting the world around me? And also the ideas that I see and the things that I read about, can I find examples in everyday walks of life? And then when I do, how does that apply to maybe my organization or other organizations that I'm familiar with? I find some of the greatest ideas from an innovation perspective are found when we just look at the things that we do each day. So in this particular prediction, one of the top trends that they're looking at is the conversational user interface. One of the statements that they make is by 2020, the average person will have more conversations with bots than with their spouses. What an amazing thought, right? And it discusses how the conversational user interfaces that we're seeing today, such as the virtual personal assistant, maybe some of you have experienced that, have them in your home. One of them that's very popular right now is Amazon's Alexa, and how that is affecting the marketplace. So when I read that, I thought to myself, I can't believe that many people are using Amazon's Alexa, and how are they using it when they do have it? So believe it or not, it's amazing when you start thinking about things and you start looking for them, what you actually come up with. And I was actually getting my hair done just the other day, and I was in a small beauty shop, and there were a couple of beauticians in there, and one of them actually had an Alexa that was playing. And it had ended playing, and that particular beautician that had the Alexa had walked away. The other one that I was working with said, you know what, I want to play some music. So when she walked over there, she actually asked the first person, can I talk to Alexa? And the individual gave her permission to talk to Alexa, which she proceeded to ask Alexa to play some 70s music. And Alexa proceeded to play the 70s music. But when she walked away, she was frustrated with it because it wasn't the music that she was interested in. So she walked back to Alexa, and a little bit more frustrated tone asked her to play 80s music. Alexa proceeded to thank her for her request and played 80s music. And then she wanted it to be louder, plus she didn't like that type of music either, which her selections were. So at that point, she went back for the third time to talk to Alexa. And at this point, she was in a very frustrated mode to Alexa, as if she was disciplining an individual. Well, the owner of Alexa, or the person that had Alexa, started to then interact with her and scream at her and say, you shouldn't talk to Alexa like that, because she doesn't understand instructions that quickly. You have to give her time to think. All this point in time, I was across the room listening to this, thinking to myself, am I understanding this correctly? We have people talking and getting frustrated and showing emotional interaction and even defensiveness in the first person, as if the Alexa is actually a human, of which the individual then proceeded to take the Alexa's device with him. And he said, I'm going to be taking this on vacation, so you won't have to yell at Alexa any longer. I sat back and thought to myself, what an odd interaction. But then when I take that in context to what I'm hearing here and talking about spouse conversation, I think to myself, this is the reality of what we're going to. What they're talking about in here is interaction with actual bots and how those are affecting your life. And if you take that and think about how could we use a device such as that to personalize things such as interactions with elderly care so that they can stay in their homes longer, because there are many studies that show that elderly individuals suffer from that lack of conversation and that lack of innovation, and also even how they can get health care and can get help and can get answers to things when they're elderly, in addition to a whole host of new things that we're interacting with. So what I'd like to do is, talk to you about the fact that I always like to take actions when I get done speaking or writing or making any observations. And I challenge you to go out and find your own instances of individuals actually using virtual personal assistants and also doing having conversational interfaces with bots. And think to yourself when you hear those examples and find those examples, how does that apply to my organization? How does that apply to the changes in my life? And what is it going to look like in just a few years from now as to how we interact, how we have conversations, how we talk to each other, and how we experience the world? And what are those changes going to do? And how can I take ideas from that and then turn those into also innovation ideas that can advance my organization? So those are my challenges to you today, and I hope that you find ways that you can take this concept into your world and make a difference. Thanks for listening.